You're watching Drakewing Gaming. Enjoy the video.
Hey guys and gals, Nary here from Drakewing Gaming. Following me on Twitter, The Gaming Dragon. Today I'm coming back at you another Let's Play episode of Tennis Ace, Shuichi's Path. So guys, let's go ahead and jump right back in, shall we? Please sit back and enjoy for the next 18 minutes while I entertain you. Let's jump right in. Alarm Chan, you are up, and let's go. Yeah, poor June. Alright, throwing a tantrum doesn't help your case any either. You're out of commission for a full week. Maybe it's not the worst thing to keep resting to give your body time to recover. You're dealing with a ton of fatigue. You're still not looking 100% either. But I need to practice. I feel fine. That's a little hard to believe, especially when you don't even look me in the eye when saying that. I place a hand on top of June's head, gently running my fingers through his fur and trying to be as reassuring as I can. Give yourself a break for a bit. You'll just make people worry about you otherwise. Okay. Wow, that worked? That was easier than I thought. I'm heading out now. See you tomorrow. Yeah, I'll see you tomorrow too. A few minutes later. Walking inside the building, I can't help from feeling a certain sense of enthusiasm washing over me. It's nice to have some of my old sense of enthusiasm back. I truly thought I might never return. For someone like me who's loved tennis so dearly and for so long, the feeling that I was only going through the motions with it is really scary. And since I got here early, most of the students that are already here have either just finished getting changed or are stretching and warming up, or they're still in the locker room. I definitely don't want to linger around the lockers to chat with people, because then I'd be exposed to way more half-naked guys than I'd like to see. Now more than ever. God, is that going to have to be a new concern for me? Worrying that I might out myself in the locker room? You better make sure to always stay down in the locker room, mister. Hey there, Yuichi-kun. Saya walks out of the female's locker room, looking around a bit before spotting me and bounding my way. Oh, hey there, you're here early. Of course I am. I'm the club's captain. What did you expect? I guess that much is true. More importantly, though, how have you been, Shokun? How have you and Shokun been? Why does everyone seem so interested in us lately? Everyone? Never mind, not important. We've been pretty good. This weekend has been kind of great. It's a bit scary just how well things are going, now that I think about it. I see us getting along greatly and enjoying each other's company, and I can't help but have a little siren blaring in my head screaming, "Run for your life! Abandon ship!" Just have to do my best to avoid that annoying siren, and we should be fine. Thanks. For what? Finally convincing Shokun to see Sachiko-san again. She's been really down the past few years about it. How do you know that? Have you been keeping in touch with her this whole time? Of course I have. Did you think I'd just stop talking to a woman who had a hand in raising me all these years just because Shuichi was feeling awkward about it? Jeez, when you say it like that, I feel like a little bit of a jerk that I also didn't talk to her for so long. I can tell what you're thinking just from the look on your face. I'll just say you don't need to worry about it. Are you a mind reader now, too? Nope, you're just really transparent. You're feeling guilty that you didn't check up on her either now that you know that I still kept in contact, right? Will everyone stop friggin' reading me? It's starting to get so annoying to be told this over and over. Come on, you don't need to look so annoyed. I will murder you. Bring it, Furball. Snark. Now there's a smile. Screw you, Saya-chan. You worry too much. It's my job as your friend to make sure you stop doing that. You're an idiot. I love you. Huh? Whoa, her eyes just went all kinds of wide. Wow, even her ears are going red. Did I just get a rare Yuichi-kun I love you? Make me regret saying it. But you rarely ever say stuff like that. I think I've only ever heard it twice before. Quit it, okay? It's embarrassing to say stuff like this. It doesn't mean I don't feel it. Alright, I won't tease you too much over it. It'd just make it even rarer for you to say it if I did. Is that seriously the only reason? Shouldn't you avoid teasing me because it makes me feel uncomfortable and you want to be a good friend? Ah, there you two are. A deep voice calls out from nearby, interrupting my conversation with Saya. Mikado-san, good afternoon. Saya-san, Yu-kun, good afternoon. The crocodile flashes us a very toothy grin, placing both hands on his sides and nodding. Hey there, Keiken. Are you tagging along with the coach today? He said he needed the three of us for something. What is it? I have some news to share. As you know already, I keep in contact with some of our alumni. I've managed to convince a couple of them to come by for a little help while the three of you train again. Oh, is Kato-kun coming over? Is he? Which a smile widens even more. Correct, I've been nagging them for a while, but they're giving me the runaround. This morning I finally managed to seal the deal. He'll be arriving this weekend and will train with us for 5 days. Whoa, really? Yay, Kato-kun is coming over! That's pretty incredible. I imagine they would be really busy with practice this time of year. How'd you convince them? It was hard, but I finally managed to win them over when I bribed them with free plane tickets and all expenses paid for an entire week. I also already checked with the school and was given permission to use the courts over the weekend. That's amazing. I don't even know what to say. It must have cost you a fortune. I didn't know Coach could be this generous. All this stuff, I can't believe he would go out of his way like this, especially when it's been being arranged so suddenly like this. Coach bellows out in a booming laugh, crossing his arms and leaning his head back while he cackles. Don't you worry about that. I just marked this as work expenses so I can deduct it from the school's budget. No, never mind. I should have been seeing this coming. Will any other girls be coming over too? Why did you only call the 3 of us here? We had 7 players qualify for the next competition. Yes, well, the other 4 already gave up on the special training back when we last had some players over in April, which put me in a really awkward position with some of the alumnus that came over and just watched from the sidelines as we didn't have enough players actually playing with them. Right, I remember that. A lot of players threatened to walk out of the club entirely, saying that week of special training was far too Spartan. I think at the end of it, only about 5 of us stuck through the whole time. And the other two that didn't have qualified. And the other 2 that did haven't qualified. With that said, I didn't invite any of the girls this time. Only Morisaki and Sasaki will be coming back this time. Huh? How come? What about me then? You'll be training with the boys. Last time you were already showing you were adapting very well to the girls and managed to beat them pretty often. Granted, none of them were ranked quite as highly as Morisaki and Sasaki are. Oh, that doesn't sound too bad, although I will miss playing against Shina-senpai. Yes, and there's also the fun fact that I couldn't quite fit any more people in the budget without administration asking too many questions. But yes, mostly the first thing. I've been keeping track of these 2 ever since the training week in April. It seems their ranks have also increased a bit since they were last here. Yeah, Kato-kun took part in the Challenger competition 2 weeks ago and climbed all the way up to number 212. What about Sasaki-san? Wasn't he already ranked in the top 200s last time he was here? He's currently ranked number 161. Huh? Is it just me or did that number not change it all that much? Morisaki-senpai went up over 100 positions in the ranks? It seems there's a huge wall somewhere around the top 150. Getting somewhere in that position is much easier than getting past it. So he's plateaued. It's not that bad. It's only been 2 months. If he's still gone up almost 20 positions in that time, that's pretty steady progress. I guess? I just have a hard time believing. That guy was so incredibly overwhelming to play against when he was here. It's difficult to imagine him struggling to climb the professional ladder when that's the image I have of him. Which probably just means there are way more amazing people than him out there. The thought is terrifying. Suddenly a huge hand plops itself down on my shoulder, startling me and nearly making me jump. Okay, with that said, let's move on to the next order of business. Hang on, shouldn't we discuss details about the guy's stay over here? Then we'll practice. How many times? That sort of stuff? We can leave that for later. There's something else that I need to deal with first. Well, what's that? I have a little bit of an experiment I want to perform. A what? Oh no, Coach, what are you doing? Uh-oh. That sounds super dangerous. Why isn't anyone else reacting to it at all? Yuichi-kun, have you and Sayatan ever played against each other? Huh? Us? Not really. How come? We play in completely different leagues, so we never thought there was a point to it. Is that a question or a statement? Coach chuckles, a high-pitched noise that almost comes at us out as a whistle, very different from his usual laughs. Really? So you're telling me you've never been curious about it? Not even once? I guess. I never thought about it before. I don't think. I don't think. Okay. Not I don't think. Not I don't think. Why don't you think about it now? Wait, are you saying we should play against each other now? Oh, I think I get it. The crocodile places his enormous hand on top of Saya's head, flattening her ears and petting her. Very good, Sayatan. How about we let him figure it out on his own? Okay. I really don't get it. I'm supposed to play against Saya? Why? I mean, she's... Yes, she's a what? Yeah, Yuichi-kun. Go on and finish that sentence. What am I? Oh boy. Oh boy, things are getting a bit dangerous here. I suddenly feel like my life is being threatened. Is there any point to this?
Why do you seem to think there isn't?
Don't get me wrong, okay? I know Saya is an amazing player. She's much more successful in her league than I am in mine, but that's the thing. The two of us are in a completely different league. We never compete with each other.
So you don't think there's any point practicing against someone you wouldn't compete with?
Well, no, why would there be? Practice is supposed to be a way of preparing yourself for the real thing. There's never going to be a situation where I'm going to be seriously competing with a girl unless I decide to play mixed doubles, and I'm not really interested in doubles. That's too bad. I think it'd be fun if the two of us played doubles together.
No thanks, I'm a solo player. Let me tell you right now, you're being far too short-sighted.
Huh? Did he just insult me or something? How am I being short-sighted? Female league and male league are different. Fundamentally different. Female players don't play the same way as male players do. Playstyles are completely different. Barely anything I might learn here will be applicable to a match with other guys.
So?
What do you mean, so? That's my whole point by itself.
Up until now, you've only selected your training partners by looking at other players you wanted to get accustomed to playing against, or ones who played similarly enough to other competitors so that they could be used as a stand-in, haven't you?
Keiken looks away uncomfortably, making me suddenly feel very self-conscious and crappy about that. Yeah, I've never really been one to have training partners in the first place. Sorry, Keiken.
Which is why I'm saying you're short-sighted. You only look at the immediate benefits of training with someone. Will playing against them now help me beat them in the future, or will playing against this person help me in the future against another rival? That's how you've thought up until now.
I nod, knowing that these words are correct. I have no shame over it in the first place. After all, what's the point if I have nothing to gain from it?
You can always learn something from your opponents if you are willing to do it. It doesn't matter their skill level or what league they compete in. That much is a fact. It's a fundamental truth you've never learned until now due to your own selfish nature.
My what? I'm not a selfish person.
Oh, is that a fact? Wonder what your friends here might think of that.
Huh?
Coach takes a few steps back, putting both of his hands on Sai and Keisuke's shoulder, pushing forward ever so gently towards me.
Well, how do I put this? Coach is a bit... He's not exactly wrong. Huh? There's no way. I'm not selfish. I'm always trying to help my friends as best as I can. I'm not a selfish person at all. You're really really good person most of the time. Even after your personality started warping a few years ago. That much never changed. My personality warped? I mean, I guess I became a bit more introverted and sarcastic over the years, but it can't be that noticeable that you could call it warped, could it? But ever since I've known you, you've always been really selfish, only when it comes to tennis. Huh? I agree. I know I haven't known you nearly as long, but I spent a long time looking up to you and wanting to play with you. And you kept refusing me until you were either forced into it or decided that you couldn't benefit from it. But that's normal, right? Why would I go out of my way to do something like that?
From the look on your face, I'm guessing it still hadn't clicked in your head. Well, it's not like that selfishness is in and of itself a problem. The problem is that it has currently placed itself in front of something you need to realize.
Is there a reason why you're all being cryptic? Because if we just told you, you'd ignore us just like you have for the past few years. I huff, suddenly feeling very annoyed at this whole charade.
I shoot Keiken a look, trying to see what he has to say about it.
Don't look at me. I have no idea what these two are trying to get at either.
Coach places a hand on top of Keisuke's head, doing to him the same thing that he did to Saya just a few moments earlier, smiling awkwardly at the hair. I'm sorry, Keisuke-kun. This is a lesson you've yet to learn yet as well. I'm afraid... Let me try that fucking sentence again. Sorry, guys. A little bit tired. I'm sorry, Keisuke-kun. This is a lesson you've yet to learn as well, I'm afraid, and one that you might not like.
What's that supposed to mean? Okay, at this point, I'm both annoyed and confused.
Yuichi-kun, your attitude towards tennis so far hasn't been necessarily wrong. You're right that, as a future professional, you should always be looking for ways to maximize your gains from training. The problem is your way of doing so has actually limited you heavily. Go on. I believe to a certain level you've already begun to understand it, although not fully. When I called Murasaki and the others here a few months ago, I thought for sure that would be the push that you needed. It certainly started the process off, but didn't quite work as well as I hoped.
You people are seriously starting to annoy me by talking in circles like these. Either I'll agree with you or I won't. Making me jump through all these hoops to understand what you're saying isn't going to change anything.
I want you to play against Sayatan. I believe she has a very important lesson she can teach you. One you couldn't learn if you were just told. It's something you need to experience for yourself. Fine, I'll play along with this game of yours, but I'm seriously pissed off right now. I feel like this whole thing has been nothing but an excuse to criticize me. I'm just looking out for your best interests.
Funny hearing that from a lazy coach that did nothing to help me for the past 2 years. Hey, Yuichi-kun, that's not...
Mikado raises a hand in the air, cutting Saya off before she can finish her sentence, suddenly staring me down with a glare that I never expected coming from him. It's enough to make me shiver. Either you'll understand it or you won't, but it's something you need to realize for yourself in order to proceed as a player. For now, a single set should be fine.
Yeah, sure, whatever. Let's just get this over with. Jeez, you could try not looking so unhappy about it. It's you guys' fault for pissing me off in the first place.
You two warm up for a little bit, then get to the court. I'll be the umpire for the game.
Sure. Ouch, you really don't look happy at all.
I'm not. I walk away to a nearby bench, dropping my bag on top of it and grabbing a few things from the inside. A racket, first of all. I feel like I'm clutching it so hard I might end up breaking it from how annoyed I am right now. I perform a few warm-up exercises, nothing too strenuous, so I don't end up tiring myself out before the match. Just making sure my body is limber and prepared for it before we begin. No need to risk injuring myself. A few minutes later, Asaya and I both get to the court, walking up to the net and marking up to the net opposite of each other.
Should we toss a coin to decide who serves first?
Sure, let's go with that. You can call.
Okay, here goes. I call tails.
She quickly walks up to her bag, grabbing a coin and tossing it in the air. I watch it spin multiple times before falling on her hand, Asaya-chan closing her hand around it immediately.
Let's see.
She slowly opens her hand, peeking inside with her near childlike curiosity. It stares back at us as the head side of a 100-yen coin.
Aw, bummer.
Guess I'll be serving first.
Yeah, that's fine by me.
You don't have to look so pleased with yourself when you just lost the coin toss. What are you being all happy about? We take our positions, preparing ourselves to start. I hold the ball tightly in my hand, bouncing a few times on the ground. When I looked forward, Saya is already prepared for my serve. Hunched forward, her knees slightly bent and ready to spring into action at any moment. I toss the ball, leaning back and raising my racket, making sure to engage all the muscles on my lower back so that I can move with as much explosive power as possible. As soon as I hit the ball... Sorry about that, guys. As soon as I hit the ball squarely with the center of my racket, I already know it's going to be a great serve. The ball flies towards Saya's side of the court with great speed and power, aimed right at the edge of the point for a wide, flat serve.
Ha!
However, in true Saya fashion, she reacts instantly to it. A serve that makes most players in my category stand there watching in shock for the first few times has received the bunny girl standing across from me on the court. Sure, her return was weak and imprecise, but she still got to it on her first try. Alright guys, I'm going to go ahead and pause it right here. We're going to pick up this game in the next episode. Thank you all so much for watching. Don't forget to like, comment, subscribe, ring that notification bell. If a super thanks or a tip if you can, it always helps. Until the next video, I love you all. I'll see you next time. Bye-bye!